Why are some places scorching hot all around, yet the moment you step into them, you feel an icy, piercing cold? Some spots are so extreme that even ice doesn't melt in the summer. Many people have heard of zombies, but do you know about the even more sinister corpse-raising ground? Some call it the land of extreme. And though the two are slightly different, according to folk legends, a body buried in such a place can turn into a zombie. The first strange incident happened in Xiaomei's village, involving a family named Zhu. Their 4-year-old daughter suddenly started bleeding profusely from her nose one day. Medical conditions were extremely poor at the time. Even the barefoot doctor couldn't identify the illness. The Zhu family was very poor and couldn't afford proper treatment. The little girl bled for 2 full days until she finally died. Actually, the Zhu family used to be well off. They often did business in the county town but later fell into debt due to gambling. One day, a group of men on tall horses suddenly stormed the village, ransacked the Zhu home, and no one dared to intervene. Everyone stood by holding tools. Not long after the raid, their only daughter died abruptly. The couple was utterly devastated, and old Zhu started acting delirious, often muttering to himself. Despite his ramblings, he hadn't completely lost his mind. Drawing on some occult knowledge passed down from his ancestors, he conceived a sinister idea. In the hills behind Xiaomei's village, there was a sinister hollow. For instance, while snow melted everywhere else in spring, it lingered there for over an extra month. In summer, standing there for just a little while made one shiver from cold. Even grazing sheep avoided the area. Aside from snakes, almost no other animals were seen there. And old Zhu was determined to bury his daughter in that hollow. Everyone in the village knew the place was unusual. Local lore warned that anyone buried there might turn into a type of zombie. But no one dared stop old Zhu. He had gone mad and was capable of violence. Everyone could only watch as he buried his daughter there. After the burial, old Zhu and his wife committed suicide, ending the family line. The villagers knew the girl had to be dug up and reburied elsewhere, but everyone avoided taking responsibility, so the little girl remained buried on the hill. Xiaomei was 9 at the time. 7 or 8 years later, when she was about 16 or 17, something happened around 2 o'clock one night. The village suddenly erupted with the sounds of gongs, drums, and shouting. Xiaomei woke up startled and saw her parents looking anxious. Her father was barring the door with a large wooden bolt. She asked, "Dad, what's going on?" He replied, "The BA is active. It's come alive and is roaming outside the village." Terrified, Xiaomei hid in her mother's bed. The two huddled together, shaking, as the calm outside continued, clashing noises, desperate cries for help, until everything gradually quieted down after 4 in the morning. Xiaomei's father was timid and honest, so he didn't dare go out to help. The next morning, everyone learned what had happened. An elderly childless couple living in the center of the village were disturbed in the night. The old man heard strange noises coming from his chicken coop. Worried about his valuable chickens, his main source of income, he grabbed a stick and rushed out. Instead of an animal, he saw a child. He shouted, "Whose child are you?" Instead of running, the child turned and jumped toward him, not walking, but hopping. By the light from the house, the old man saw it clearly, a little girl less than a meter tall, with 2 pigtails, but with deeply sunken eyes, high cheekbones, and exposed teeth, making eerie noises. When he struck her with the stick, it felt like hitting stone. He fled back inside and barred the door while the thing outside pounded loudly. The couple screamed for help, and neighbors gathered, but no one dared intervene. They could only make noise with gongs and drums until around 4 a.m., when the little creature hopped over the fence and headed toward the hills. The whole village knew it must be the Zhu family's daughter come back to life. They brought hoes, sickles, and even a musket to the grave on the hill. Sure enough, the grave had been dug open, and the little girl's body was lying there, undecayed. Everyone was at a loss. What should they do? It was the Republican era, before liberation, and too chaotic to report to authorities. The village elders decided to burn the body. But when they set it on fire, only the clothing and hair burned. The body itself wouldn't burn and instead grew harder. People grew fearful. Once the sun set, the creature would be even harder to control under the moonlight. Some suggested deep burial, others drowning, but nothing seemed reliable. Finally, a hunter spoke up. "I have a wild boar cage. It can hold a 400-gene boar. Let's trap it in there." They placed the charred little creature into the sturdy cage, moved it to a clearing, and had 6 or 7 strong men stand guard with oil ready just in case. Xiaomei remembered that after 6 that evening, as the moon rose, the burned thing in the cage began to move. Its chest heaved, its limbs twitched, and soon it stood up. Realizing it was trapped, it thrashed wildly. Almost half the village rushed over, and it was only thanks to the strong cage that disaster was avoided. Xiaomei said that cage saved the whole village. After that, the little creature became almost like an exhibit, left in the clearing for 7 or 8 days. Xiaomei saw it only from afar once and had nightmares for months. But it couldn't be left there indefinitely. After discussion, everyone decided to reinforce the cage, attach large stones, and sink it into a deep, bottomless pond called Black Dragon near the village. Xiaomei said she'd heard the story from her grandmother since childhood. Locals never went near that pond. Although some people go there now for leisure, those who know this story